Hello again, and thanks for joining. This is what we've got coming up on this video. It's a fantastic looking model from Jouef. It's got BUDD written on the box, and it seems to be an electric multiple unit in silver. So I'm really looking forward to having a look at this. Let's check it out. This is another second-hand purchase. Obviously this model's been out for a while and you can tell that by the design of the box, but it does look pretty fantastic. Jouef obviously is made in France, and this really exudes that French style, not only in the box but also in the model inside, and you can get a hint of what we've got just by the images on the front. The box is looking not too bad condition overall. It's got this strange part of the box here, little cutouts for some reason. It's typical kind of French design, I think, that often they do some decoration for absolutely no reason, but it's pretty cool that it's there, and I'm hoping that the model will also be in a similar fashion. This box has had a few bashes. I think it's been around for a while, and you can see some scuffs here and a few little tears here and there, but overall it's not too bad. And it really looks quite impressive. The model's held inside quite securely, and you can see some of it through these windows. So let's open it up and have a look and see what we've got inside. So here we have the model inside. It's held in this polystyrene tray. We've got 3 items here, a middle car and 2 end cars. And you can see that the top one has a pantograph on it and the bottom one doesn't, so I'm guessing it's a trailer unit. And you can see that this yellow bar here indicates, I guess, first class, and it also has a number 1 on this set of doors here. But we'll look at them in more detail in a moment. Over on this side there are 3 little bags here, and they contain little metal handrails. So these haven't been fitted to this model, these are still unopened. That's really cool that this has been included in this set. Like I said, I did get it second hand, but the previous owner has decided not to fit these for some reason, probably quite a fiddly job, and there's quite a lot of them there as well. And we've got 3 bags worth to add on to this model. I do see that the polystyrene tray is taking a bit of a bash at the top here. I'm not sure whether that was transit to me or whether it's been done in the past, but it's a bit of a shame that that's been bashed. Anyway, let's have a look at each of these models in turn. So here's the first model out the box. It's the driving car with a pantograph on the top, and straight away you can see that this is a really cool design of EMU. I'll add a picture of a real one to this video so you can compare this to it, but this is really a classic example of really good French design in that it's got such interesting and unusual parts, and one would say unnecessary as well, but nevertheless they've been added onto this model. So you can see at the front here we've got this yellow diamond with the SNCF logo. We've also got a number of lights around the front and a horn at the top, and we've got these additional plastic parts of like little foot rails added in there. So this one actually wobbles a little bit. I'm not sure whether that's been like that the whole time straight from the factory or whether it's been like that because of age, but anyway, it's wobbling away, the other one doesn't. And it's got these square buffers which have been added in, just little plastic things, and this great big coupling sitting out the front. I'm thinking you probably don't need that, it's just a 3-car set. And looking down the side of the carriage here, you have some printing into the moulding here. You can see the word service on the door there, and you've got SNCF and a number, and you can also see other things like the number 1 here, first class, in this yellow bar here. Obviously this is first class. It's quite a good moulding, and it's got a lot of detail. I guess the original had a lot of parts like this on it, so it needed that, but it really does look quite space age, almost retro 60s science fiction. So I really like that about this model. Further down the carriage you can see that it has some other doors here. We've now got the second class with a 2 here, and also some doors at the back. And here at the back of the carriage you can see that it's quite a simple affair. There's these extra plastic pieces put on, which I guess are kind of vents or maybe the air conditioning units, and a door to go through to the other carriages. But maybe this is typical of the French design at the end of this train. It's got a bit of style to it, and again the theme of this 60s sci-fi just follows on through to the back of the coach. Up on top we've got some air vents and some ridges as well. It's all moulded in silver, and it really does look quite nice. I guess it's a stainless steel train, so the silver works very well. This part up here, I think it's maybe air conditioning units as well, and you can see that there's air in between the top part and the top of the roof. I guess that's prototypical. It really does look very good, and they've moulded this checker plate on the top here very nicely as well. Then we come to the pantograph, and it's made of metal, spring loaded. It doesn't come up that far, but it does come up enough and it looks quite nice when it is up. It's got this really cool looking copper pickup on top, and down below we've got some really nicely moulded bogies here. There's not a lot of detail on here, but what detail there is really nicely done. And it's a very quirky design of bogie as well, and it really matches with the rest of the carriage. This bogie here is driven. You can see underneath it's got quite a simple design. The motor is on top of the bogie. It comes down with these gear wheels at the side here, and then it's transmitted to both axles, and it's got plastic gears. It does look a bit dirty there. It's maybe been used quite a bit in the past, and I can see why, because it's quite a cool model. I'm looking forward to putting this on a bit of test track and seeing how it goes. All 4 of these wheels have traction tyres on them, and the coupling is integral into the bogie as well. So there's quite a lot of movement here to allow it to get around corners, which I guess it needs, but it does cut down on the detail underneath the buffer bar. Further down, it has a variety of different boxes and compartments moulded into the plastic here. And further down here, okay, it's upside down in the video. It says made in France, and it has the Jouef logo. And it looks as though these 2 gold screws hold the 2 pieces together. So we'll have a look at these 2 pieces apart in a moment. And further down, you have the final bogie, which has got the pickup. It's got these copper skids on the wheels. And again, the coupling is integral into the bogie there. Let's have a look at one of the other models. So this is the middle coach now. It's very similar to what we've just seen, however all of this looks to be second class because all the doors have a 2 beside them. This is a very light model, there's no weight at all, and it could probably benefit from added weight inside it. But aside from that, the bogies are very similar to what we've just seen. The couplings are also integral into the plastic moulding of the bogies. The ends are very similar as well, but they don't have those grey boxes, and the overall style again looks very similar in that it's very science fiction like. Along with the first carriage, this one also doesn't have an interior, and also the glazing isn't flush fitted as well. It's got such a deep recess there. It's not the most technically advanced model in the world, but as a piece of retro design this is really quite stylish and quite an interesting thing to have. You'll notice as well at top it doesn't have the air conditioning unit. I think it's an air conditioning unit, but it does have this ugly moulding spot right here and a circle around it, so that really detracts from the roof a little bit. I guess that could be cleaned up. Let's have a look at the final carriage. So this is the final carriage, and it's very similar to the first driving one. This one's got red indicated here in the lights, but this isn't a lit model, there's no pickup, so these won't light up. And up here, the horn does look as though it's been knocked off here at some point and been lost, so that's a bit of a shame that that's gone. There's no air conditioning unit on top of here either. It's very similar to the middle coach, and it also has the moulding mark in the middle there as well. And some of these little air vents you can see have a little moulding mark on them as well. So the plastic moulding isn't that great and the finish isn't superb. Similar to the middle carriage, this one is also very light. It could benefit from a weight as well. But it has the same bogies, the same couplings attached to the bogies, and the same underframe boxes here as well. The set also comes with this leaflet which just details where to put the handrails on the coaches. So let's open up the motor carriage. We're just going to take this apart now. Like I mentioned already, I think it's just these 2 screws which are holding this model together. So let's take those out just now. It was a bit of a faff getting that out. And also this step also just fell out as well, so that was the wobbly step that we saw earlier. I'll have to glue that back in when we come to put this back together. But now you can see the parts that make up this model, and one of the things I've noticed that's actually quite cool about this is that the windows are actually also the chassis, and it looks as though it's just been painted grey underneath, or maybe this is grey plastic to which clear plastic has been added in the mould. And that's quite a cool, neat way of doing it. But you can see here now that we've got the motor, and an added benefit, we've got lighting on the front as well, the little light bulb there. It's quite a neat looking motor. It's just held on the chassis and the whole thing moves as one, and it actually looks quite clean as well, so that's quite a good thing. And down at this end you can see that this bogie picks up power and just sends it to the front through these wires. So there's no pickup at the front, it's just purely all motor. So let's give this a try and see if it'll work. Okay, we've got this on the test track now, so let's give it some power and see what happens. So that was really surprising. It worked perfectly first time. I thought it would be a bit troublesome, but it seems to be working fantastic. So I'm going to put the body back on and we can see what this looks like running with the body on. Okay, let's get this back together. So that was much easier to get back together than it was to take apart. And we just have this little footstep thing to go back on the front. I'm just going to glue that back on now. I'm just going to use some poly cement from Humbrol to do this. Got it now back on the test track, so let's give it a try. So it's running great. It's a little bit noisy, but it's not too bad. I'm really liking this model so far. So let's find out what each of these weigh. The power car weighs 178 grams. The middle coach weighs 87 grams. And the unpowered power car weighs 92 grams. This EMU 3-car set from Jouef has actually turned out to be quite a little gem of a model. When I first saw the box, I thought it was a pretty cool design, and the models themselves haven't really let that down at all. I guess the real life EMU set from SNCF is a cool design. Most French trains do have this great looking style, and it's perfectly captured here in these models. They have a lot of appeal and they look really great. The 60s science fiction style is amazing. You can imagine this running through some kind of Dan Dare or Flash Gordon film and you wouldn't bat an eyelid. You would think this is made for some kind of atomic future perhaps, but yeah, it isn't. It's a retro model from Jouef and it's really quite appealing as well. There are some limitations. It's almost toy-like in some of the execution here. The glazing isn't flush fit, it's quite cheaply made, and there are some obvious moulding marks where there shouldn't be. However, the appeal of this model just really shines through. It's such a great looking thing. I think it would make a great addition to your model railway layout, whether you're modelling French railways or otherwise. So they do look really quite fantastic and I find them really appealing. So I think if you do find this model secondhand, I think you should definitely buy it. Don't look here for some accurate, super fancy and full of electronics model. It is a bit of a retro thing, it is a bit toy-like, but the style of these things is like nothing else on earth, and you'll end up really enjoying them just because of their quirky looks and retro sci-fi appeal. So I'll put the power car on the turntables so you can see all the way around. Let me know what you thought about this video and my analysis of these models in the comments below. I'd really be interested to hear what you think. And also, if you've got this set, I'd love to know and find out about your experiences with it. Please give this video a thumbs up, it really helps this channel, and you can subscribe for more videos like this in the future. But for now, that's it for today. See ya!